name is Ray Rodkey. I'm a sophomore in ASM with a minor in construction management, and this is my Construction Management 100 final presentation over the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. This is my one-page summary. I don't have a printer, so I'm going to have to use my computer for the visualization portion. So I can zoom in here. So in 1968, one of the largest oil strikes in America was discovered in Prudence Sound in Prudence Bay, Alaska, which you can see is all the way at the top of the state. So shortly after they found the oil, they knew they had to get it from the top of Alaska to Prince William Sound, the Gulf of Alaska, because the ports were down there, which would make mass distribution much more accessible, because if they didn't do that, they would have to go all the way around Alaska and through the Bering Sea, which was extremely dangerous at the time. So in 1974, they had their plan to start building, and they began with the road system that they were going to use for the entire project. So the road itself is 360 miles long. It had 30 construction camps along the way that were built before the process started. So this was able to maximize efficiency during the build because the builders were able to stay connected. It was one of the first large-scale builds that required 30 different sites, and it was so spread out across that area that this is the first time something this large had been done, which is part of the reason why the construction industry was changed after this project was completed. So the actual road was started to be built in April of 1974, and by the end of 1974 they started on the pipeline. So during the entire process they used 20,000 workers from all over the country, and they were able to be connected by the road, made transportation better. They were using 48-inch pipes to build this pipeline, which were massive and required a lot of transportation logistical calculations to ensure that those large sections got there on time. So the pipeline itself is almost 800 miles long. It's 789 miles long, and it's below and above ground. Where they could put it below ground, they did, because the permafrost barrier was not there, and they were able to not affect the wildlife as much, keeping it below ground, as well as run it in different areas with much more ease. But once they start moving north, they get into the permafrost barrier and have to put it above ground, as well as when they made it above ground, they had to make it high enough so that all wildlife could fit underneath and could still move without any restrictions. Because if they put the pipe on the ground, it would warm the ground and cause a lot of different changes in the environment by warming that permafrost and making it really muddy as well, and kind of hindering the wildlife around, as well as the caribou, the massive amount of caribou that move at one time. They would still need to be able to move under that pipeline because it was so big they couldn't just step over it. So they had to pick up, you can see, the pipeline off the ground and leave enough room for the caribou to move. You can see here kind of the scale of the caribou and where it is, it's kind of frozen. So $8 billion were spent on the pipeline. It was finished in 1977, so in 3 years, which was right on time, which is the schedule for the project, which is rather quick for an 800-mile long pipeline. Nothing like this had ever been done before. So where they could, they made the pipeline in a zigzag pattern to make it more earthquake friendly, just in case a large earthquake had happened, it could flex or move. And one of the major impacts of the pipeline was the 1989 spill in the Prince William Sound Bay area. An Exxon boat that was carrying the oil that had just left spilled over 10.5 million gallons of oil into the Sound, which is why the pipeline is monitored every day by the Bureau of Land Management so closely. Thank you.